top tips for breaking old habits. You know what they say about old habits? Old habits die hard. These tips are tailored to make breaking old habits easier. This guide will introduce you to becoming aware of and breaking old habits by giving you 4 top tips to break old habits. Becoming aware of habits. Becoming aware of habits is the most important thing you can do to break old habits. To become aware of your habits, you must become aware of the 3 things that go into making a habit: the cue, the routine, and the reward. The cue is the stimuli that causes the behavior of the habit. The routine is the habit behavior, and the reward is the benefit of the behavior. For example, if you have a habit of biting your lip when you're stressed about work, the cue would be stressful situations at work. Routine is the biting of your lip, and the reward is, presumably, the relief of stress. Identifying behaviors of your habits, or the routines, can be the easiest part of the habit to identify. To determine why you engage in this behavior, you must determine the perceived reward or benefit of the behavior. To determine when you engage in this behavior, you must determine the cue or stimuli that provoked this response. There are many ways to become aware of your habits. One of the best ways to become aware of your habits is to keep a habits journal. You can note behaviors or thoughts that come up repeatedly in each circumstance in your journal, or you can make a list of habits you'd like to develop and mark off when you do them. Tip 1. Replace the old habit with a new habit. An excellent way to get rid of an old habit is to replace it with a new habit. This can ensure that you're still getting a reward in that circumstance. It's just with a different behavior. For instance, if we go back to the previous example of biting your lip when stressed at work, you could replace that behavior with something more productive, like doodling on a piece of paper. Whenever you catch yourself biting your lip at work, or you know a stressful situation is coming up, stop biting your lip. Next, grab a pen and paper and start to draw. Tip 2. Create reminders and notifications. Reminders are super helpful when trying to break old habits. Create a set of reminders for yourself to note throughout the day that remind you of several different things. You want to have reminders that are positive and inspiring, like, "You can do this." And you also want to have reminders that encourage you to reduce or stop a certain behavior, like, "Don't drink a soda right now." Tip 3. Use the mindfulness practice to your advantage. Mindfulness is not just for yoga or meditation sessions. It can be very helpful in breaking old habits or any habit that you want to get rid of. Mindfulness can help you to become aware of your actions and can provoke thoughts as to why you are engaging in this behavior as a way to recognize cues and rewards for your habits. Tip 4. Prepare yourself for mistakes. Mistakes and trip-ups happen. That is almost guaranteed with anything that you do, especially when it comes to breaking old habits. Habits are so ingrained in our processes that it can be hard to break them. In the words of our favorite blue fish, just keep swimming. 5 habits to break ASAP. There are some things that life is just better without. Bad habits are one of them. This tutorial is meant to help you become aware of 5 bad habits that you need to break as soon as possible. These habits are meant to be ones that you will strive to avoid. The habits are numbered 1 to 5, growing more difficult as the number increases. None of these may come easily and you may get discouraged, but keep up the work on breaking these bad habits and you will reap the rewards that come from new, healthier habits. Okay, habit number 1. Saying yes to everything you get offered or invited to do. Saying yes is not always a bad habit, but when it becomes your go-to answer for everything, you may need to replace this habit. When you say yes to everything, you can have the tendency to overbook yourself and end up with conflicts. These conflicts can lead to strained relationships with others as you're constantly changing around your schedule to make room for everything that you've agreed to do. Saying yes to everything also takes away from the time you could be spending doing the things that you want to do. Personal time and free time are important. Spending time with those closest to you and by yourself can help you recharge your social battery and can provide some much needed downtime. Habit number 2. Not including self-care into your routine. Self-care is super important. Many of us take it for granted, but factoring in little aspects of self-care throughout your day can make a huge difference. Nutrition and hydration are forms of self-care. Making sure you eat 3 nutritious meals or an equivalent number of snacks a day, and making sure that you get your 8 cups of water a day are some basic but beneficial forms of self-care. Meditation and mindfulness practices can be great forms of self-care. These activities can help you become more aware and intuitive about yourself and your actions. This awareness and intuition can help you notice and change your daily habits. Lastly, doing something for yourself every day can be empowering and an act of self-care. Whether it's eating a treat for dessert, reading some of your favorite books, or watching a certain movie or a show. Make time to do something for yourself every day. Habit 3. Snoozing your alarm too much. Sleep is extremely important both for self-care and as a habit. Snoozing your alarm clock too much is not a good habit to have. It can make you more tired and have bad health repercussions. Snoozing your alarm too much will not put you back into a deep enough sleep to be effective, and the jolting awake each time the alarm goes off can raise your heart rate and your blood pressure. Habit 4. Having a beer or glass of wine after every stressful day at work. Drinking beer and wine is not inherently bad. It's just how you choose to do so. Having beer or wine after every stressful day at work can lead to a dependence on alcohol to relieve stress. This may cause you to drink higher quantities of alcohol to relieve even more stress, which can lead to health problems. Habit 5. Smoking and vaping. Last but not least is one of the most apparent examples of a habit you need to break ASAP. I'm not saying it's easy to quit smoking or vaping, but it can lead to a better overall hygiene and health for you and those you love. 5 habits to use with social media. Social media can be a great way to stay in contact with old friends and to make new friends. Despite all the benefits that social media has to offer, there are plenty of bad habits that you can develop when using it. Habit 1. Take breaks. With the advent of TikTok, Instagram Reels and Explore pages, it can be tempting and sometimes inadvertent to spend hours and hours on social media. It's extremely easy to just keep scrolling past posts. It takes minimal brain use and minimal effort. It can be almost addictive to keep scrolling and to double tap posts that you want to like. Breaking this pattern is a good habit to get into. Spending all day on social media can have many negative side effects. Set the phone or tablet down every once in a while and go for a walk or have a mindful cup of coffee. Habit 2. Monitor screen time. Sometimes social media can be the first thing we check when we wake up and the last thing we check before we go to bed. This may not always be a bad thing, especially when you're connecting with friends in different time zones. But that time can add up and take away from your time in the morning or at night. Many phones now have settings that allow you to put time limits on certain apps. That can be especially helpful with social media when you may not always know how much time you're spending on each app. Many phones also have a screen report at the end of the week. Set goals for yourself. Watch yourself make progress in real time every week. Habit 3. Connect with friends off social media. While social media can be a great way to connect with friends who live halfway across the country or in another part of the world, it is important to make time for your friends who live around you as well. Have some coffee with friends at the corner coffee shop or invite your friend group out to dinner. Make time to spend with friends in person rather than just over FaceTime or Messenger. Habit 4. Use social media for inspiration. It can be very easy to get into the habit of comparing ourselves to others through social media. With social media, we see the best parts of everyone's lives, the parts that they want to share with the world. We need to keep this in mind when we're on social media and try not to compare ourselves to what we see online. It can be difficult not to compare ourselves to others, but it can be helpful to reframe any comparative thoughts we make into thoughts of inspiration. Habit 5. Use social media with a purpose. Sometimes we just pull up social media platforms when we're bored. This isn't inherently a bad thing when it happens occasionally, but it can easily become a bad habit. Try adding other things to the list of things that you do when you're bored. Try to make sure that when you're using social media, it has a purpose, like to connect with a specific friend or to share something that you just experienced, instead of just using it because you're bored. 10 habits to improve your life one day at a time. How do you win a race? One foot in front of the other. How do you win at life? One day after another. You can harness the power of habits one day at a time to improve many different aspects of your life. Habit number 1. Brush your teeth immediately after you wake up. This may seem like a silly habit. However, brushing your teeth immediately after you wake up is a great habit to get into. It prevents you from forgetting to brush your teeth and is an easy time to remember when setting up the habit. Habit 2. Turn out the light when leaving the room. This habit can make you more environmentally friendly. Whenever you leave a room, turning out the light can save energy and be more sustainable for the environment. It can also save you money on utilities. Habit 3. Do a core workout before you go to sleep. Just like brushing your teeth when you wake up, the timing of doing a core workout before you go to sleep makes it easy to remember when setting up the habit. Doing a light workout before going to bed can make it easier to relax and go to sleep. Habit 4. Limit checking your phone while working. Limiting the amount that you check your phone while working can be a good habit to increase productivity. Many phones now can be put on Do Not Disturb or Work Mode to help reinforce the need to check your phone less. Habit 5. Drink a glass of water every hour. Hydration is important to many different aspects of your life. Drinking a glass of water every hour that you're awake will ensure that you get the right amount of hydration. Habit 6. Eating breakfast. Eating breakfast is a good habit to get into. It ensures that you have energy for the day, and it can help you better sustain energy throughout the day. A healthy breakfast with the right amount of protein is best. Habit 7. Practice meditation before beginning to work. Practicing meditation is an excellent habit to get into, and doing it before work can help increase productivity. Allowing your brain to unfocus for a bit can help it get into the focused mindset necessary for peak productivity. Habit 8. Make time for friends and family every day. It can be easy to get caught up in work or school and forget to make time for friends and family. Not only is it a great break from work and other parts of your daily routine, but it can also mean a lot to your friends and family that you're spending time with them. Habit 9. Self-affirmations in the mirror before you leave in the morning. Self-affirmations are not just for children. Everyone can benefit from self-affirmations. This is a quick aspect of self-care that you can integrate into your daily routine and can help interrupt negative thought patterns. And finally, habit 10. Track your habits. Tracking your habits can be the key to success. The more goals you set for habit forming, the more important it is to track those habits. Keep a journal and mark off if or when you've done each habit.
Stay tuned for more positive and helpful videos. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in our next video.